if it aggravates the pig.
And don't worry if it works or not. Everything works if you believe in it.
And don't get hassled by the cops and don't play their game.
If you can't have a beautiful time there, then don't have it and stay at home in bed.
I know it's hard, you know. Christ, you know it ain't easy. You know how hard it can be, man. But it is hard. So what? Everything's hard. It's going to be hard tomorrow, and it's going to be hard the next day. So what? It's better to have it hard than not have it at all. And if those squares can sell 1 can of soap to the housewife, so can you.
The only way to get them to understand you is to extend your hand and really try to open their minds up and try to give your love, you know. That's the only way that they'll come around.
Entice them and calm them. You know, you've got the brains and you can do it. What? You can make it, man. We can make it. Together. We can get it together. We can get it together. Now, that's all.
Anybody who's been in the drug scene, it's not something you can go on and on doing, you know. It's like drink or anything. You've got to come to terms with it. You know, like too much food or too much anything. So you've got to get out of it. You're left with yourself all the time, whatever you do. You know, meditation, drugs, anything. You know. But you've got to get down to your own God and your own temple in your head, like Donovan says, etc. And it's all down to yourself, you know. So it's like, and for peace or anything, it's all down to this relationship. To work on this relationship with Yoko is very hard, and we've got the gift of love, you know. But love is like a precious plant, you know. You can't just accept it and leave it in the cupboard or just think it's going to get on with itself, or like a pet, you know. Desmond. And you've got to keep watering it, you know. You've got to really look after it. And love, you have to water and be careful of it and keep the flies off and see that it's all right and nurture it, you know. And to get a relationship between two people is the start. And then if we two can make it, maybe we can make it with you. You know, and from maybe us 4, you and yours can make it with the next 4. And it's only that. There's no sort of answer. Full of optimism because of the contacts I've made personally throughout the world, including yourself, you know, whether it was on seeing you on TV or whatever, knowing that there's other people around who I can get on, you know, agree with, you know, and I'm not insane, I'm not alone, you know. I've met. That's just on a personal level. And, of course, the Woodstock, Isle of Wight, all the mass meetings of the youth is completely positive for me. And the fact that now we're all getting to know, we're always showing our flags, you know. And when you show your flag, you're not alone, you know. It's like we no need to be a few Christian martyrs because there's lots of us. And don't be afraid because they do look after you, whoever's up there, you know, if you get on with it. And I'm completely positive. And when I'm negative, I've got Yoko, who is just as strong as me, and it helps, you know. And this is only the beginning. This 60s bit was just a sniff. The 60s was just waking up in the morning, you know. And we haven't even got to dinner time yet. And I can't wait, you know. I just can't wait. I'm so glad to be around. And it's just going to be great, and there's going to be more and more of us, and whatever you're thinking there, Mrs. Grundy of South Birmingham on toast, you know, you don't stand a chance. A, you're not going to be there when we're running it. And B, you're going to like it when you get less frightened of it, you know. And it's going to be wonderful, and I believe it. And, of course, we all get depressed and down about it. But when I'm down, or when John and Yoko's down, Desmond will be up, or somebody else will be up. There's always somebody carrying the flag and beating the drum, you know. So they, whoever they are, don't stand a chance because they can't beat love. Because all those old bits from religion and that about love being all-powerful is true, you know. And that's the bit they can't do. You know, they can't handle it.
As early as 1962, when the Beatles carried back to England their hairstyles from Germany, it was obvious that this was not just a rock and roll band, but a cultural experience with great social influence. But many in the world would only see the Beatles as an opportunity to make millions of dollars. In 1964, the marketplace was flooded with Beatle products, and not all of them with a legitimate license. Over 60 companies were taken to court for exploiting the word Beatle, and that was just during the first flash of Beatlemania. Actually, only a fraction of the booming Beatle industry had anything to do with music. The real action was in Beatle merchandise, which by the end of 1964 would gross over $50 million. Celtab, the Beatles' American licensing agency, is coincidentally Beatles spelled backwards. The number of Beatle novelties authorized by Celtab reached several hundred. By the time the Beatles appeared on The Ed Sullivan Show, more than 100,000 Beatle dolls had been introduced, and Beatle wigs were coming off the line at $35,000 a day. Buttons, pens, and T-shirts were the most abundant items, but most interesting are rare collector's pieces, many from the black market. For those who want to relive a bit of history, Beatle conventions have been held annually in U.S. cities since